There will be no girl under my roof who walks with an outsider!
I'm not your little daughter anymore, and don't yell at me!
After listening, please subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment before the continuation. Sarah woke before dawn, though her body begged to stay beneath the warm blanket. Her heart pounded so loudly, it seemed it might wake the entire family. Today, everything would begin. Amish children were given the right to Rumspringa, that wondrous and frightening period when you could step beyond the community and see that other world she had only heard about in fragments. The world of the English, as they called everyone outside their church. She moved to the small mirror, the only one in the bedroom she shared with her younger sister, Ruth. Dark hair braided tight, a clean face without any cosmetics, a simple nightgown. That was her, Sarah Yoder, one of 12 children of Jacob and Hannah Yoder, from an old order Amish community in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. "Are you really going?" Ruth whispered, stirring under the blanket. "Yes," Sarah turned toward her sister. "Eli and Rebecca are picking me up at 9. Mom is worried. I heard her crying in the kitchen last night." Something pinched in Sarah's chest. She knew her mother disapproved of Rumspringa, even though she had once gone through it herself. But it was every person's right to see, to feel, and then to choose with a clear mind. To choose the community, baptism, a life submitted to God's will, but nobody spoke the or aloud. At breakfast, her father was silent, methodically spreading butter on home-baked bread. Mother served eggs and ham. Her hands trembled just a little. The younger children chirped about daily chores: cows to milk, garden to weed, hay to stack. "Remember who you are," her father said at last, eyes still on his plate. "The world out there is different, Sarah. Beautiful, bright, tempting, but empty. Remember that." "Yes, Dad. And come back before dark. Do not linger." She nodded, although she knew they were going for the whole day. That was the tradition. Older teens who had been through, or were in, Rumspringa took newcomers to town and showed them the world parents preferred not to discuss. When Ellie's gray van pulled up to their farm, Sarah was already waiting by the gate. The van was a compromise. Some parents allowed older children to have a vehicle during Rumspringa until they received baptism. After that, those things had to be left behind. Ready for an adventure, Rebecca grinned, leaning out the window. Her friend had been in Rumspringa for 3 months and had already traded the strict Amish dress for jeans and a bright blouse. Hair loose, lipstick on. Sarah froze a moment. Was this the same Rebecca Stoltzfus she had gone to church with since childhood? "Don't look like that," Rebecca laughed. "Hop in. We have big plans." Besides them, 4 other teens were in the van, 2 boys and 2 girls. All dressed the English way, all energized. The air felt electric, like right before something big. The drive to the King of Prussia Mall took about an hour. Sarah watched the window in silence as the scenery changed. Farms gave way to suburbs, then multi-story buildings, highway interchanges, massive billboards with blazing images. "First time this far from home?" Eli asked, glancing at her in the rearview mirror. "Yes, we've gone to Bird in Hand for the market, but this is different." "This is only the beginning," he promised. The mall stunned Sarah even before they went inside. A huge building, glass doors that opened by themselves, streams of people in astonishingly varied clothes. When they entered, a wave of sensation washed over her. Music. It came from everywhere, from stores, from speakers in the ceiling, even from people's phones. Rhythmic, alive, nothing like their church hymns. Light, bright, and artificial, bounced off glossy displays and a marble floor. Scents: perfume, coffee, fresh pastries, something sweet and unfamiliar. "Don't fall behind," Rebecca took her hand. "It's strange at first, I know. You'll get used to it." They wandered through stores. Rebecca tugged Sarah to displays, pointing out clothes Sarah had never even dreamed of. Dresses with bare shoulders, short skirts, tight jeans, high-heeled shoes, purses, jewelry. "Want to try something on?" her friend asked at another window. "I don't know." "Just try. It obligates you to nothing." In the fitting room, Sarah stood before a full-length mirror wearing jeans and a plain t-shirt Rebecca had handed her. The girl in the mirror looked like a stranger, unfamiliar, and somehow free. "It suits you," Rebecca said. "Keep them on. We'll put your dress in a bag." When they left the store, Sarah felt exposed, though she was fully dressed. The jeans hugged her legs odd after a wide skirt. People looked at them differently, or did not look at them at all. She no longer stood out in a crowd. "I'm hungry," one of the girls announced. "Let's hit the food court." The food court was another marvel. Dozens of counters selling food from all over the world. Chinese, Mexican, Italian, Japanese. Sarah stared at the menus, not understanding half the names. First time is hard to choose. She heard a voice beside her. She turned and saw a guy about 20, wearing a black t-shirt and a cafe apron. He smiled easy, unforced, and there were playful sparks in his eyes. Yes, it's hard." She felt her face heat. "I'd start simple. Burger, fries, cola. A classic." He leaned across the counter. "I'm Jake, by the way." "Sarah." "Nice to meet you, Sarah." His smile widened. "First time here?" "Yes. Is it that obvious?" "A little," he laughed, the sound warm and genuine. "But it's sweet. Most people around here look worn out. Your eyes look honestly amazed." She didn't know what to say. In her community, conversations were reserved, especially between boys and girls, and Jake looked at her in a way that made her feel warm. "I'll make you something special," he promised. "Trust me." While he cooked, Sarah couldn't look away. His movements were confident, quick. Strong hands, a small tattoo on his forearm, some symbol she didn't recognize. Hair a bit long, falling over his forehead. When he turned and caught her gaze, he smiled again, and something unfamiliar fluttered in her belly, a pleasant tremor, warmth. "Here you go," he set a plate in front of her. "Bacon cheeseburger with the house special sauce, which is to say mine. How much do I owe you?" "First time is on the house," he winked. "Come back. I'll be waiting." At the table, her friends joked and laughed, discussing purchases and evening plans. Sarah barely heard them. Her thoughts kept returning to Jake, to his smile, the way he looked at her, that strange new feeling she had never felt before. "Someone's interested in you," Rebecca whispered, nudging her. "That guy hasn't taken his eyes off you." Sarah glanced back. Jake was indeed looking their way, and when their eyes met, he waved. "It's just," she began. "Just what?" "He's cute, obviously, and you clearly caught his eye." "Rebecca, I'm not here for that." "Then for what?" Her friend tilted her head. "Rumspringa is the time to find out what else is in the world, including, well, you know." Sarah didn't know. She only felt her heart race when she thought of Jake, how she wanted to turn and look at him again, how her body warmed at the memory of his smile. "This is normal," Rebecca murmured. "What you're feeling. It's just life, Sarah, real life." Real life. Maybe, or the beginning of something that would change everything. Forever. 3 weeks had passed since Sarah first saw them, all 3 weeks in which her life split cleanly in two, like an apple cut in half. By day, she was Sarah Yoder, the obedient daughter, helping her mother bake bread, minding younger children, gathering vegetables from the garden. She wore a traditional dark dress and a white covering, prayed quietly before each meal, went to church every Sunday. Sarah, who knew her place, knew the rules, and did not doubt. But after sunset, when the family went to bed and quiet settled over the farm, another Sarah appeared. The one who pulled an old mobile phone from beneath her bed, borrowed from Rebecca. The one who read messages from Jake and felt something turn over inside. Their first conversation at the mall lasted 2 hours. They sat on a bench by the fountain while Jake told his story growing up in the Philadelphia suburbs, parents who divorced when he was 12, a younger sister studying to be a nurse. He worked at the cafe to pay for college, studying business administration, though he secretly dreamed of photography. Photography? Sarah was surprised. "Yes, catching beauty in a moment, you know." Keeping what would otherwise disappear, he watched her so closely she had to lower her eyes. Like right now, for instance. The light hits your face at just the right angle. If only I could photograph it. We don't take pictures, she said softly. It's forbidden, considered prideful. Why? Because an image is trying to keep yourself, your likeness. We're supposed to be humble, not stand out. Jake nodded, thinking. Do you agree with that? No one had ever asked her opinion about the rules. The rules were the rules. They existed like the ground underfoot and the sky above. I don't know. I've never thought about it. Maybe it's time you did, he smiled. You're allowed to have your own mind, Sarah. He asked for her number, and she admitted she didn't have a phone. He didn't seem surprised. He knew a few things about the Amish. He proposed alternatives. She could write from Rebecca's account, or they could arrange meetings ahead of time. Do you want to see me again? She asked, her heart suspended. Very much, he said simply, and his voice was so sincere she believed him. They met a week later. Rebecca drove her to a small park on the edge of town where Jake waited by his old pickup. Her friend smiled meaningfully and left them alone. I brought something, Jake said, opening the truck door. A blanket and a bag of food lay on the back seat. Thought we could have a picnic, if you want. They set up on the grass away from the path. Jake unpacked sandwiches, fruit, snack foods in bright, crinkly bags, and a small laptop. I want to show you something, he said, flipping it open. What is it? Movies, music, the stuff I love. You said you've never watched a film. No, we don't have televisions or electricity. I know. That's why I want to share one. Nothing complicated, just a good story. He played a film about two strangers who meet on a train and talk all night while wandering Vienna. At first, Sarah couldn't focus the screen, the moving images, the voices were so unfamiliar. But gradually she sank into it, into the conversations between those two so open, so alive. Did you like it? Jake asked when it ended. Yes, but also sad. They just parted, didn't even exchange numbers. But they had that night, that experience. Sometimes the moment matters more than length. He looked at her. Though I'm glad we did exchange contacts, I wouldn't want you to just disappear. Next time he shared music, not the pump of mall speakers, but something else. He played songs and told her about each who wrote them, what they meant to him. Some slow, almost sorrowful. Others energetic, urging the body to move. Try it, he said, getting up. Just move however your body tells you. I don't dance. Dancing's forbidden. This isn't dancing. It's feeling the rhythm. Come on. He offered his hand. After a beat, she took it. His palm was warm, steady. He drew her closer, not too close, carefully, and began to move. Sarah stood stiff at first, then the music seeped in and her legs moved on their own. That's it, Jake smiled. See, you've got it. They were closer than any boy in her community had ever been. Sarah felt the warmth of his body, his scent fresh, with a hint of wood. When he looked down at her, her breath caught. Aren't you cold? He asked, and she realized she was shaking, but not from cold. No, I'm fine. They stopped moving, but did not let go. They stood looking at each other, and Sarah suddenly knew she wanted him nearer. She wanted to feel him closer. The thought scared and thrilled her at once. I have to go, she whispered. Rebecca's waiting. Got it. He let her hands go, and she felt a strange loss. When can I see you again? I don't know. It's hard to get out. My parents are beginning to suspect. Sarah, he took a small step forward. If this is too hard, if I'm making trouble for you. No, she cut in, suddenly sure. You aren't. It's just complicated. At home, her mother met her at the door. Where were you? With Rebecca, we went to town. Again, there was a wary note in her voice. Sarah, Rumspringa is a chance to look around, not a chance to lose yourself. I'm not losing myself, Mom. Are you sure? Hannah stepped closer, searching her daughter's face. Because I see something in your eyes, something that scares me. What exactly? Dreams. And dreams are dangerous, honey. They make us want what we shouldn't have. Sarah didn't answer. Her mother was right. She did dream about Jake, his smile, the way he looked at her. She dreamed about a world beyond the farm movies, music, making her own choices. On Sunday, she sat in church beside Rebecca and listened to the bishop preach about meekness and submission, about the dangers of pride and worldly temptations. His words rang like hammers striking an anvil, loud, firm, unquestionable. After service, Rebecca pulled her aside. "I need to tell you something," her friend said, serious. "What?" "I've decided. Next month, I'm getting baptized." Sarah froze. "But you said you wanted to see more. That Rumspringa was your chance." "I've seen enough." Rebecca lowered her eyes. "The world out there is beautiful, Sarah, but it isn't for me. I belong here, with my family, with the community. And there's a guy, Samuel King. He's getting baptized soon, too. We want to marry in the fall. Do you love him?" Rebecca thought a moment. "I respect him. He'll be a good husband, a good father. That matters more than other things." "What other things?" "Passion." Her friend looked up. "That wild feeling people in the world talk about. It fades, Sarah. Respect and shared values remain." That evening, Sarah couldn't sleep. She lay in the dark listening to Ruth's even breathing and thinking about Rebecca's words, about passion that fades, about respect that remains. But what if both were possible? What if you could have both? The phone buzzed beneath her pillow, a message from Jake. "Can't sleep. Thinking about you. When can I see you again?" Her fingers hovered over the keys. What was she doing? This was wrong. She was deceiving her parents, risking her future in the community, playing with fire. Then she remembered how she had felt in his arms during that almost dance, how her body reacted to his nearness, warmth, trembling, wanting more, how much she wanted him to touch her again, firmer, closer. In 2 days, same place, she typed and hit send before she could change her mind. His answer came immediately. "Can't wait. I see you in my sleep, Sarah." She pressed the phone to her chest, heart racing. This was no longer curiosity, no longer just friendship. It was something else. Something that frightened and pulled her in at the same time. Something she could not refuse, even knowing it might break everything. She was falling in love. And the scariest part, she didn't want to stop. Sarah stood at the sink washing dishes after dinner when she felt his gaze. Jacob Yoder was a man of few words, more watcher than talker. Now he watched his daughter with an expression that made her uneasy. "Sit," he said when the last plate was dried. The younger kids scattered. Mother carried the baby upstairs. Only father and daughter remained in the kitchen, and the silence between them was heavy. "You've changed," he began without preface. "These last weeks. You're here, but your thoughts are far away. During prayer, you look out the window. At the table, you don't hear when we speak to you. At night, I hear you stirring awake." Sarah clenched her hands on her lap. "Rumspringa is a hard time, Dad. There's much to think about." "Rumspringa, yes," he leaned forward. "But there's more. I know that look, Sarah. I've seen it before. In your mother, many years ago, when we were young, and she had not yet decided to be baptized." "Mom," Sarah stared. "Your mother did Rumspringa. She met an English boy, too. He promised her the world, college, travel, city life. She almost left with him." "I didn't know." "Of course you didn't. She made the right choice. She stayed, took baptism, married me. But I remember that time. I remember her torment. I remember her tears." Her father left, head bowed. The phone vibrated his message. "Hey, I want you to meet my sister. She's coming for the weekend. I think you'll like each other. Can you?" Sarah hesitated. Meeting family was serious. It meant he saw their relationship as real, lasting. "Yes, tell me when and where." The next day, Rebecca drove her to Jake's place, a small rental on the edge of town. Jake met her at the door, and she saw at once he was nervous. She's inside. Fair warning, Emma can be direct, but she's got a good heart. Jake's sister was a slender young woman of about 23 with bright red hair in a ponytail. She hugged Sarah immediately, no ceremony. Finally, Jake won't shut up about you. Sarah this, Sarah that. I thought he made you up. Chill, Jake flushed. What? I'm happy for you, she turned to Sarah. Come on, I made lunch. Hope you're hungry. At the table, the mood was easy, nothing like their family meals. Emma joked, Jake laughed, they interrupted each other and talked about everything: work, friends, the news. Nobody prayed before eating. Nobody enforced a strict hierarchy where fathers spoke and others fell silent. So how did you meet? Emma asked, serving salad. Jake told the story and Emma listened, smiling. That's sweet. Jake's usually not bold with girls. You must have really caught him. Emma, Jake tossed a napkin at her. What? It's true. After Jessica, you didn't date anyone. Who's Jessica? Sarah asked. An awkward pause. Jake looked down. My ex, he said at last. We were together 2 years. We broke up last spring. She dumped him, Emma added, ran off to California with some surfer. Jake was wrecked. Maybe enough? Sorry, I just want Sarah to know you're a normal person with a past, not some perfect prince. After lunch, Emma left them alone. Jake looked uncomfortable. Sorry about my sister. She doesn't always think before she talks. It's fine. She's kind. Sarah paused. Were you really that upset about that girl? It was rough, yes. But now I see we didn't fit. She wanted one thing, I wanted another. It just didn't line up. What do you want? He looked at her so seriously she held her breath. Honestly, I don't know every detail, but I know I want someone who understands me, who sees the world differently than most. Someone like you. He stepped closer and Sarah didn't move away. His hand touched her face, gentle, careful. May I kiss you? She nodded, not trusting her voice. When his lips met hers, the world disappeared. Only the two of them remained this moment, this feeling sweet, heady, so wanted. When they finally parted, Sarah trembled. I have to go, she whispered. Wait. Sarah, I need you to know this is real to me. What's between us? I'm not playing. I know. Me too. On the ride home, sitting in Rebecca's van, anxiety rose. Everything was moving too quickly, going too far. This was no longer friendship or curiosity. These were real feelings, a real relationship. Sooner or later, a choice would crash down. It came sooner than she thought. Billy saw them a week later. He had driven to town for building supplies and stumbled on them near the park, Sarah and Jake sitting in his pickup, kissing. That evening, he burst into her room after she'd gone to bed. Who is he? Sarah jerked upright. Eli, what are you? Who is that Englishman you were kissing today? Ruth stirred in her bed, and Eli lowered his voice. Out. Now. They went to the kitchen. Eli stood with his arms crossed, his face set. Talk. His name is Jake. We're seeing each other. Seeing each other, he repeated with disgust. Do you understand what you're doing? You shame the family. You shame yourself. I'm not shaming anyone. It's Rumspringa. I have the right. The right to look around. Not the right to sleep with an Englishman. I'm not sleeping with him. Yet, but you're headed there. Tears stung Sarah's eyes. He left her alone in the dark kitchen. Sarah sat at the table hugging herself and cried without a sound. A week vanished like a minute. Sarah tried to avoid Jake, sent short replies, but he sensed something was wrong. Can we meet? Talk? He wrote on the 6th day. They met at their usual place. What happened? My brother knows. What do you want to do? I don't know. If they find out, everything changes. Jake took her hands. Then don't tell them yet. We can be more careful. Meet farther out of town. No, I can't lie anymore. I can't live like this. She raised her eyes to his. I have to tell them, but I'm afraid. Of what? That they'll make me choose right now, and I'm not ready. And if they do, what will you choose? Sarah was silent. She didn't know the answer, or was afraid to say it. That evening she sat at the family table, and after her father finished the prayer, she found the courage to speak. I need to tell you something. Silence. Everyone watched her. I'm seeing a boy, an English boy. His name is Jake, and I don't want to hide it. Mother went pale. Father's jaw tightened. The younger children looked at each other, not grasping the weight of her words. Leave the table, her father said quietly. Go to your room. We'll talk after the children are asleep. Sarah stood on shaking legs and left, feeling the gaze of the whole family on her back. After dinner, father called Sarah and mother to the kitchen. The door closed softly behind them. The table still smelled of fresh bread. Coffee steamed on the sill. Father sat across from her, hands on the table, eyes steady. We'll speak without the children, he said evenly. You said at the table you're seeing an Englishman. Is that true? Yes, Sarah answered. Her voice didn't shake, though her chest felt hollow. And you understand what this means, Mother added. Rumspringa isn't permission to erase boundaries. It's a chance to see and then to choose, not to carry a boy home in your heart. I'm not carrying him home, Sarah said quietly. We were talking. We are in touch. That's enough, Father cut in. Tomorrow morning you're going nowhere. Rumspringa is over for you. Early. Dad. No. I'm responsible for this house. You stay. You'll return the phone to Rebecca. You won't see that boy again. No letters, no meetings, no go-betweens. That's all. Mother looked at Sarah briefly, no anger, just firmness. This isn't punishment. It's a fence so you don't fall farther than you can climb back. Sarah nodded. She felt the warm memory of Jake's hand recede, the echo of his laugh fade, as if someone switched off the light. All right, she said. I understand. The next days she tried to live as before. Up before sunrise, iron water buckets, hands in dough, the scent of yeast, cows, cucumbers, rows of beans, small kids tugging her sleeve. Sarah, look, evening prayer with the family. Quiet in the bedroom where Ruth fell asleep quickly while Sarah lay awake listening to the wall clock tick. Everything was in its place, yet felt emptied. She knew every motion by heart, and in each she felt a slip of air, like gears no longer meshing. On Sunday, the community gathered for service. After hymns and the sermon, the bishop spoke at length about submission, about temptation that can look like a good friend. Then he announced, in 2 weeks there would be a baptism for several young people. Names were read clearly, among them Rebecca. Beside her 2 other girls and 3 boys. People nodded, elders shook hands, mothers eyed white ribbons. Sarah stood aside, listened to the congratulations for others, and felt herself shrink by half an inch. When service ended, the bishop paused by her. Sarah, he said kindly, I hear you're thinking. That's good. Thoughts should end somewhere, though. The community awaits your decision. Hanging on a threshold too long is dangerous. I know, she answered. I'll tell you. He nodded and moved on. Rebecca came up, no lipstick now, hair gathered, calm eyes. I'm on the list, she said without drama. It's scary, but right. Congratulations, Sarah meant it. Are you sure? As sure as a person can be, Rebecca shrugged. I've slept well since deciding. That's a sign. I don't sleep, Sarah said. Then don't decide yet. But remember, not everything that warms gives light. Not everything that shines gives warmth. Rebecca gave a crooked smile. If you want to talk, I'm here. That evening, they prepared a room for the girls' baptism meeting. Mother laid out white aprons, Grandma heated water, neighbor girls brought pastries. Everyone moved with gentle purpose, like before a quilting, quiet, steady, no fuss. Sarah passed bowls, hung towels, held doors. No one pressed her, yet every glance asked, well? When all grew still, Grandfather Hans asked for a bench on the porch. Dusk had cooled the air drifting in from the fields. "Sit," he nodded. "Let's talk." Sarah sat. He was quiet a minute, eyes on the dark garden. "I don't need you to swear or promise," he began. "I can see you at a crossroads. I only want you to know a story." He adjusted his hat and sighed. "I had a brother, older, Joachim, lively, quick. During Rumspringa, he met an English girl. Good girl, honest. They loved each other. He wavered a long time. Then he left. Not in a fight, not with yelling. One morning he packed and went. He wrote letters to Mother, sent money when he could, wished us well. We didn't open the letters, not out of hate, because of the ban. That's how it's arranged. If you leave after baptism, you're honored in a different way, but leaving before the vow also leaves a scar." "He didn't take baptism?" Sarah asked. "No, that's the point. He left before. Thought it would be easier that way, since he hadn't yet promised. We still felt the promise, even unspoken. Father said then, the son is alive, but at our table his chair is empty. We held to the ordnung. We held like hands on a boat's edge in rough water. If one lets go, all can capsize." Grandfather spoke evenly, without accusation. His words fell in a straight line. "Years passed," he went on. "I saw him once by chance at a fair. We stood 20 paces apart. We looked. He didn't come over. I didn't either. Was that right? By our rules, yes. By a human heart, I don't know. Those two truths don't always join." Sarah tightened her fingers. "Do you regret it?" "I regret that the world is like this, but it is like this. Ordnung are not chains. They are a bridge. When you step off, you're already on the far bank, and the bridge doesn't move to follow you." He lifted his eyes to Sarah. "If you go, there's hardly a way back. You have the right to go. But no, our house will be different afterward. Not revenge. A way to keep the bank from crumbling." "And your brother, is he happy?" "I don't know. I heard he has a son, that he became a carpenter. That's good. I pray for him. But when I imagine my dying, I don't see him at the bed." Grandfather smiled with one corner of his mouth. "You asked for truth. There it is." They sat in silence. In the dark, thin wings of night insects rustled. A board clicked by the shed. "Grandpa," Sarah said, "what if I stay and keep thinking about him? Then what?" "Then think honestly. Don't feed those thoughts in secret. If you're with him, say it to yourself straight. If you're not, don't write him letters in your head at night. Half-truth eats more than an open wound." "Father ended Rumspringa for me," she said. "I feel like a child again." "Use it," he nodded. "A child is allowed simple questions. Who am I? Where is my home?" The answers should be just as simple. No semicolons. He stood. "Tomorrow the aunts will help with baptism linens. Work with them. Busy hands, quieter head." "All right. And one more thing. Don't fear naming the consequences of each path." He leaned closer. "If you go, no one curses you. But no one embraces you the same either. At your sister's wedding, you may not sit close. At your grandfather's funeral, perhaps not either. Not out of cruelty, out of rule. If you stay, expect silence where that boy's voice once was. Maybe peace, maybe emptiness if you lie to yourself." Sarah nodded. Her throat burned. "Thank you." "Good night," he said, and went inside. The next day, the house truly filled with work. They sorted fabric, ironed, measured coverings. The girls preparing for baptism came one by one. Some joked, some were quiet, some sighed as if carrying an invisible basket. Mother checked seams, Grandma hemmed, Sarah held thread, passed scissors, tied knots. Her hands did their tasks. Her thoughts stayed taut like a drawn line. In the evening, Father asked Sarah to sit in the kitchen once more. No edge in his voice. "I won't ask you to answer today," he said. "But the community is waiting. Tell the bishop next Sunday which way you're going, and we'll live with it." "If I say no to baptism," Sarah asked, "then you won't take part in our sacraments." You won't sit with us at communion. We won't quarrel with you. We'll simply keep the ordnung. That means fewer conversations at the table, fewer joint chores. We won't be able to host your guests if they live otherwise. Not an insult, a line. Mother added quietly. It hurts, but that's how we keep what we have. When cows crop all the grass by the river, the bank crumbles. A fence is needed. Sarah looked at their faces. No contempt, only firmness and care that knew how to say no. I understand, she said. Give me this week. You have it, Father answered. That night she didn't reach for a phone. She knew where it was in Rebecca's bottom dresser drawer, carried over 2 days ago. She knew the park was a half-hour away. She knew that if she texted only, "Are you there?" an answer would come fast. She lay staring into the dark instead. Ruth breathed beside her. The littlest coughed beyond the wall. A floorboard murmured in the hall. The house was alive. Her thoughts weren't about dodging rules. They circled a plain sentence. If I go, there will be no way back. Not as a threat, as fact. Grandfather had spoken it. Father confirmed it. The community had lived it many times. She pictured a baptism Sunday, white ribbons, cold water, elder hands on heads. She pictured herself on the list. Then another image, the city, different clothes, an unfamiliar kitchen, Jake's voice. Simpler talk, laughter at the table, no one expecting hymns. Both pictures held warmth and draft. The house was still. Sarah sat by her window wrapped in a woolen shawl her grandmother had knit from soft white fleece. Fog curled over the fields like smoke after a fire. Autumn had settled into everything: leaves, wind, her heart. 2 letters lay on the table. One a short note from Jake folded 4 times, its edges darkened by her fingers. The other a letter she had started to him 3 times, but still couldn't finish. When a knock came, she didn't turn. It's me, Mom. Come in. Mother sat across from her, hands on her apron. Her face looked tired, but kind. You haven't eaten since morning. I brought apple pie. Thank you, Sarah said softly, not touching the plate. They were quiet. The wall clock cut the room into seconds. Your father's calmer, Mother said. He's just hurting. He doesn't judge you, Sarah. He isn't talking to me. It's been 3 days. Because he doesn't know what to say. You're his daughter. He's afraid of losing you. Sarah finally looked away from the window and met her mother's eyes. What if he already lost me? What if I'm not the daughter he raised? You're still yourself. You've simply grown up. Sarah was silent a long moment, then barely audible. I love him, Jake, but I don't know if that's enough. Mother sighed and fished something from her pocket, a small envelope. This is an address, his. He came by yesterday while you were out. Sarah froze. He was here? Yes, he stood on the porch and didn't come in. He said he doesn't want to tangle your mind anymore, that he will accept whatever you decide, but he'll wait for you if you choose him. The next morning, Sarah rose before dawn. Her suitcase stood in the corner not as an escape, but as a possibility. When she entered the kitchen, Dad already sat at the table. For the first time in days, he spoke first. Are you leaving? No, I am going, yes, but not forever. He nodded, stirring his coffee for a long time before saying, I'm afraid for you, Sarah. Out there is a different world, not like here. I know, but I want to at least try, not as a flight, as a choice. He looked at her a long time. His voice shook. You can always come back. This is your home. It always will be. She went to him and hugged him. Thank you. Jake lived on the 2nd floor of a modest house near the bus station. Sarah climbed the stairs, the little envelope with the address clenched between her fingers. He opened the door within seconds. He stood there, silent, as if he couldn't believe it was her. Hi, she said simply. Hi. May I come in? Wordless, he stepped aside. The room was a little messy: jeans on a chair, a book on the floor, an unfinished coffee on the table. Life had been going on. without her. I read your note, Sarah said. I didn't know if I had the right to write it. You did, and I read it more than once. He came closer but didn't touch her. Have you decided? She looked out the window. People walked by. The day was beginning. I'll stay for a few days. He blinked. A few days. For now, I want to try what it's like to be with you without hiding. Not at night, not sneaking. Just be. And your family? They know. Mom gave me your address. And Dad told me home will always be there. He lifted his eyes. For the first time in a while, there was something more than love in his look. Hope. I bought you a coffee. When I stopped by, it's cold now, probably, but it's in the fridge. She smiled. Let's warm it up. They drank coffee on the balcony, sitting side by side. Sarah held the cup in both hands, not for warmth, but so she wouldn't hold on to Jake. Not yet. Her hair lifted in the breeze. He kept quiet. I don't know what comes next, she said. Me neither. But right now, I'm here. He nodded. And that's enough. Hit like, and don't forget to subscribe. The next story will be even more intense. But if you are under 18, don't even think about clicking next.